Morning. I wanted to start my video today with my impression of me saying good morning to like one of my neighbors, but it's clearly in that way of like, I'm only doing this because I'm nervous and I feel like I'm supposed to. You ever do that? You ever say good morning to somebody like these days and all of a sudden you're like, what is it, 1997? Like, who am I, the most normal guy on earth? Good morning to a neighbor? Like, what a person thing to do. You ever do something, you're like, what a person thing to do? Like, you walk by somebody, you're both wearing jackets, you're barely like moving your neck, you're just like, morning. You almost only say the M, morning. You know what I sound hyperactive right now. I just had a flashback of like 1 year ago, I went to an urgent care and I was so scared and I thought everything was wrong with my body. And they sent like an email of like, your aftercare summary. I've never been sent this before. It almost felt like I wasn't supposed to look at it. I don't know if I've talked about this before, but literally it was an email of everything the doctor wrote down, like his notes. I don't know if they like, someone hacked him. It literally felt like a secret and he wrote down hyperactive. And I felt like really validated. I was like, no, I know. Anyway, my name's Monson. This is my second channel where I just speak. Some people have described it as stressful. I've gotten that it was frustrating before these videos, but some people, I'd say more people, say that they're fun. And people say it's almost like being on FaceTime with a friend. You're my friend. Oh my god, hi, let me actually try and do an impression of what it's like if we were on FaceTime right now. Hi. Sorry, no, because I took a shower. No, I'm not naked, I'm just like, I'm wearing the weirdest shirt. What? I don't answer the phone. I've never answered the phone and said I'm wearing the weirdest shirt. I literally only wear solid colors. I have a few band shirts. I feel like I used to wear such interesting shirts in like 7th and 8th grade. Like I used to literally come to school with a white shirt and just draw on it. Like I wanted to be seen so badly, but in that way where I don't have to actually say anything. Like that's the kind of shy, almost extrovert's way of getting attention, is like putting on something crazy. Because you can literally put on like a blue wig and like a top hat and just walk into school and you don't have to say anything the whole day and people are like, he's weird, I can tell. Anyway, I have a lot to talk about today. Did I call this video something to do with people thinking that I'm a girl? I'm a little nervous to talk about this because I have so many experiences in my life and I want to say I don't have like any grand statement to say on gender, but in that area, I feel like it's possible that I'll mess up and I don't want anyone to get mad at me because it's happened a few times recently where I swear, I've been thinking about this. If you have any kind of following on the internet, there's a good chance that like 1 to 10 to 100 times a month, depending on who you are or what you say, even if you try your best and you barely like ruffle any feathers, you will get an angry email. Like you will get an email from someone that is so long. I feel like even non-people with platforms or whatever get these. You know when someone just writes you something? And I don't know, if you're like me, even if, like sometimes it'll take me a few days. It always takes me a second because immediately, if someone is mad, I am like, okay, yeah, no, how do I remember one time I got an email of somebody angry that I hadn't cut my nails and that there was dirt in my nails, and they're like, you know we can see those, right? It's disgusting. You're just another, and it was like long. And I swear to God, my first I started writing them an email being like, no, I understand, like, I don't mean to make anyone uncomfortable. And then a few days later, I'm like, what? And then it's this thing where I'm like resenting somebody because I didn't call them out soon enough and it's kind of my fault. I think I'm talking so loudly that I made my right ear buzz, so if I faint, just call the police. Wouldn't that be horrible if I somehow fainted in the middle of a video and then like my arm moved enough that it clicked the upload button and you're just watching a video of me like this? Not dead, don't be scared. I don't think that would be interesting. I do. Sorry, this is my 21-year-old. Sometimes I try to say words so quickly and it just can't happen. You can't say 21-year-old in a half a second. Try. Let me hear it. See? You can't do it. You tried your best. No, that was actually a good... Anyway. What were you gonna say, sir? Sir, I'm not sir. Lily, call me sweetheart. I'm your son. You're not my actual son. You're literally, I adopted you because I was bored. That just kind of made me laugh, but made me upset at the same time. I think I'm only laughing because it's the way I cope, you know? It's like, if I don't laugh, I might fall down. Okay, now you're gonna faint? Jeez, imagine you turn on a video and 10 minutes in, there's a little British son and a strong man fainted. What would you do? Would you share the link to a trusted adult? What was I gonna oh, gender. So literally, I'm so sorry for, how long has I been, this is only 5 minutes. I feel like I've been talking for at least 27. And you may be in agreement. You're like, yeah, this has felt like literally episode 1 of, God, I tried so hard to think of a long TV show. What would that even be? Euphoria? Euphoria's been pretty long recently. One more tangent before I get into this story of misgendering, or what would you call this? I guess you don't know, because I haven't told the story yet. I know, you were telling it to me earlier, last night when you were practicing don't talk about how I practice the videos, they're supposed to be spur of the moment. You practice them to me and I'm happy to help, that's all, I'm sorry. He's walking on eggshells. You know you're sensitive when your 21-year-old adopted British son is walking on eggshells, and then you resent your 21-year-old adopted British son for walking on eggshells, even though deep down you know it's your fault that your 21-year-old adopted British son is walking on eggshells, because I'm not gonna keep saying it. Oh, Euphoria. Literally, I was into Euphoria when it first started playing, and I realized that was like 3 years ago. Like, I went from, 23 to 26. Like, I don't know if you've done that leap before. During a pandemic, things happen, things change. I guess any age. I'm sure like a 57-year-old to 60, she's like, God, I'm not 57 anymore, I'll tell you that much, Anne. Why am I making fun of her? I wasn't. If you sound like that, you're cute. Now I'm hitting on her. Anyway, I literally turned on the season premiere of season 2 of, which was like, I was super into the last show and I was like, I can't handle this anymore. I don't know what has changed about me, but I do not relate to anyone who could watch this. Like, literally, the combination of violence and other body parts that they were showing was really like, what kind of world do we live in where people can just like sit there and watch that and not be like, ah! Like, I literally, please comment on this video if you watch the new season of Euphoria and don't just start crying and shaking. Like, you're probably like, no, I do, but I watch it anyway because I like to emotionally torture myself because I'm used to it. What? Literally my ear is ringing so much. I took a lift the other day. I literally walk in, and it was so weird because this has not happened to me for like 5 years ago. It kind of stopped happening. He goes, hey man, the picture on here, it has a girl. I was looking for a girl. And I'm like, and all of a sudden, I know right away, like he just saw my picture. And I took a screenshot of it just to show you what it's like. You don't look like a girl. You have a nice face. You have soft features. I'm not even gonna respond to that. I'm just gonna let that sit there because I appreciated it. What you mean? You're gonna talk to them instead of me? Who am I? Yeah, you're making me angry! What happened to him? My 21-year-old British son turns into a 57-year-old woman. I was never British! I'm trying my best, Anne. Who's Anne? Okay. Here's the picture on my lip. I'm sorry if this video is so all over the place that you're like, dang, Drew, calling Euphoria overwhelming. Over here making me feel everything at the same time. Okay. This is what my Lyft driver saw when he got the request to pick up a man. Or to pick up a woman. Which, by the way, this is a picture of me when I was, I think, 18 years old. At like a professional photo. And is, I think, my profile picture on Instagram. If you follow me on Instagram, by the way, I don't know, but first, I don't know, how do you pick a picture? How do you pick the picture that represents you on the online? That is the scary, and I get why a lot of people just do like Justin Bieber or whatever. No one does that anymore. Sorry if you do. I'm so sorry if your picture is Justin Bieber. I've said kind of, not resentful, but sort of judgmental things towards fandoms because I feel sometimes like they take away young people's identities, and even though that can be a safe place for them, I wonder psychologically if it's good for them in the long run to not respect who they actually are. But I also admit that I could be totally wrong about that, and there's nothing wrong with young people liking something. God, I can't stay on topic. But you love it. I do. He's so nice. But he literally, I walk in and he goes, hey man, there's supposed to be a girl. And then I'm like, I've got my mask on, you know, and I'm waiting for him. Like, I'm thinking, oh, he just didn't see me very well. And I'm kind of looking at, I'm waiting for him to go, oh, sorry. Oh my God, that's you. That you're not, you are you. And that's okay. And he literally, and I go, no, that's me. And it's this moment where I didn't have to, I could have just gone, that's strange. I guess a girl hacked my phone. You know how girls are. And you know, it's a guy on guy talk. He probably would have been like, don't get me started. And I would have been like, I wouldn't, bro, because why should we? And then we'd kiss. I wish. God, I need a smack. A smack. I meant like a pucker. What do you call a smack? You can smack your lips. Don't people say smack? Does that... Am I associating violence with kissing because of Euphoria Season 2, Episode 1? God, these Zendayas out here hurting my feelings. Zendaya did nothing wrong. You're a pig. Wow, he got too comfortable being nice to me. Or no, okay. So literally, I'm just gonna tell this story, because I'm in a very tangenty mood today. I'm just gonna like go with the dialogue, full, no interruptions. Now presenting the dialogue of me and my Lyft driver who thought I was a girl. He goes, hey man, he said, I thought this was supposed to be a girl. And I go, oh no, that's me. And he goes, oh, that's you. I said, yeah, that's like, I was like 18 in the picture. And I swear to God, I'm thinking that he's like a bro who's like, dude, what? There's supposed to be a chick here. He kind of has like a bro vibe. And all of a sudden I go, no, that's me. I was like 18. He goes, huh, okay, well, it's a cute picture. And I'm like, hi, sorry, let me just change my whole mindset here. Like, it was just not, I haven't been called cute that unexpectedly or directly and bravely. Like, really, I respected how, I was like, you are the last person, this is the last situation I thought someone would be like, well, you're very cute, bro. I loved it. Like, I did, and in the moment, like right now, if I would've, you ever like have a thing where, I mean, most of my situations on earth, like after I leave, I'm like, I should have said something like, thank you. I just was like stunned. Like, I was like, maybe you're watching this, like, I get called cute, like, I'm sick of it at this point. You probably are, honestly. If you're watching my video, you're probably like either cute in an adult type of way or like a cute, oh my gosh, look at them, they go to school. You know, was that scary? I literally, that was me like being afraid that there was a kid watching my video and not, why am I so scared? Where does that come from? Being scared as a child too often. We know the answer. Not that someone, okay. Anyway, it started making me think, and by the way, he was an interesting person. He didn't, you know how Uber or Lyft drivers have their phone up like on the dashboard? Like, he just had it in his pocket, so he was staring at his crotch the whole time, and I kept forgetting that it was his phone, and I just thought that he was just like, I don't know, interested in his body or just not interested in keeping me alive. Like, there was something so strange about some driving while doing this. But he literally, it was like a 10-minute drive and it took a half an hour, and he told me he regretted his whole life. It was very interesting. My turtle's being loud. I wish there was a word you could say to your animals just to say, I love you, but be quiet. And they would be like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm anxious. I'll do it out. Do you mind if I do it outside? I'll come right back. Oh yeah, like go a block away, do what you need to do. Wouldn't that be great? People, I bet if you have a little dog, why are little dogs louder than big dogs? It's weird, right? Do they think they need to be loud because they're small? That's probably it, huh? No, it's not. Literally Google dog.com, you idiot. You idiot. I don't think British people say idiot. They say idiot, 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 boy. It's your face, okay? Who's talking to me right now? This is one of my most, is this like I can't tell, is this a normal level of me like being all over the place? If you're watching this right now, please tell me if I seem a little bit more, actually no, I'm just setting myself up for hurt feelings. If you're watching this, please tell me if you think that I'm scaring you. And then I'll get mad at you. I will, by the way, I will make jokes and references and ask questions in my videos that lead people to respond. I'm trying to think of an example. Like, I'll say something like, man, I have kind of a weird head, don't I? And I'll get comments like, yeah, weird head. And I'll be like, about to write back, excuse me, this has hurt me so. This is what it looks like when I'm hurt and I'm typing. Just like throwing water balloons at people. And then I'm like, oh, that's right, that was a prompt. I'm about to scream at somebody for prompting me. I don't scream in the comments very often. I do reply to a lot of comments though. People don't see them. I think that you usually look at the top comments. Try something new today. Look at newest first. Newest first, you know what I mean? Newest first. Comment down below if you understand what newest first means on YouTube comment organization. I think I just answered my question. This video is a little bit more intense than usual. I just went to urgent care. I go to urgent care anytime I have like the smallest scrape on me, and I call them first, like for COVID safety. I'm like, are you busy today? And I think they know me at this point, and they'll be like, yeah, a little bit. And I'm like, no, I'm not, because a little bit busy at the urgent care means you're gonna spend your entire Sunday. Like that's a 7-hour time. But they said no. I cut my finger on Friday on like a canned food, and I'm not gonna tell you what kind of canned food. Check out the Patreon. The tease for my Patreon today. I'll tell you what I was eating out of a can. No, God, it wasn't soup. Hey, that's interesting. It wasn't soup. Anyway, I go there, and it just kept hurting, and I feel scared, and I just always get I'm afraid that when I get nervous something small is gonna kill me, I start having this vision of after I die, people being like, yeah, I guess he just like cut himself on like canned food, and everything was fine, and he kind of had a pain. 2 days later, he's dead. And people are like, oh, and I'm the guy that then people start, I'm afraid that I'm gonna be the person that makes people aware of something. You know what I mean by that? Like, people are going to I'm gonna be the last person that ever, like, I don't know, eats popcorn too quickly, and then the seeds, like, and then it's popping in my stomach. I'm gonna be the human microwave. Do you understand where I'm coming from? I feel like you kind of get where I'm coming from, but I keep not explaining it, but you're like, yeah, but I see what he was trying to say, but wasn't able to. Anyway, this whole experience in the Lyft car, it made me think about my childhood, or my 7th, 8th, 9th grade, mostly middle school and high school, and I underestimate, or I forget sometimes, how often in my life I used to be called a girl, asked if I was a girl, just called, like, because there's two different types of somebody. There's somebody saying that you're not what you are because they actually think that, and there's somebody messing with you. And because I would get that a lot when I was like 12 or 13, and be like, oh, you're a girl, or like, hi miss, like it'd be a lot of that. But then there was a lot of people just, oh, hi ma'am, like, and still, every time, I'm not exaggerating, I've never been I think I've gotten into this on YouTube before. I've never been called sir on the phone. When I call like a CVS, customer service, whatever, they always say ma'am. To the point where a few months ago, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna say something, because normally I don't even correct them. I'm like, whatever, I'm gonna live as a woman for the next hour. It'll be an interesting experience. Because it is weird. It's like, if someone believes on the other side of the phone, it's like life is just perceptions, right? I am a woman to them. Like, I exist as a woman. Sometimes they start flirting with me. Interesting. I don't know why they didn't flirt with me before. That Lyft driver did, even though he knew I was a bro. But anyway, I go, sorry, it's sir, and also, why don't you guys just not say that? Because I was just kind of annoyed. I'm like, not even just being called ma'am, but I'm like, why? Why don't you just talk to me? Like, why don't you say you? You don't have to because I don't think that I'm the only one that you're getting wrong. So why don't you just say, I don't know what the word, was there like a formal non-gender name? Like, person? I don't know what it would be. My person, that sounds like you're dating. My person, I would like to, I don't know, but I was just like, why don't you guys, can you just not call anyone anything? Because you're gonna, I'm not the only man who doesn't sound like this. Like, I have to call CVS and go, hi, can I please have my Lexapro? Or they're gonna be like, yes, ma'am, you can. Like, come on. It's just an interesting experience. I'm not comparing it at all to like being misgendered in like a different type of way, but it's kind of something in my life that pops up a lot. Now it's just on the phone, but man, when I was like go back to my videos if you don't watch me all the time. I've been making videos since 2007 or something, when I was like 12, and I mean, I had like a no, I wouldn't say unusually high-pitched voice, because I think a lot of 12-year-olds have like higher guys, like really when you're a kid, I'm trying to think of it, when you're like 5, everyone's voice is pretty similar. It's not like the guys are like, hey, like everyone's kind of like, hi, and like the sexes, there's just like a tiny, not even an octave, it's just like a half step up. But it was a bullying thing. Like, I would get bullied. I never got, like, beat up, and I never got, like, taunted in that. It was always this kind of, sort of, like, they were pretending to be my friend, and I think it's messed with, like, my trust in general, because, like, guys, it was always guys. They'd do this, like, hey, Drew, like, kind of like they wanted me to put on a show of how weird I was to, like, 2 guys. I just remember, like, in this math class I had, these 2 guys, it was like they were my friend, but you know when someone's laughing at you and they think you don't know? They think you don't realize that it's not like a joint effort, and you're just like, okay, what do you need? And they're just like, oh man, what did he just say? What is he? It's like, oh my God, stop. And it would always be like is that your real voice? Like, no man, like, it was a lot of, is that your real voice? As if I'm just constantly doing a character, which, now that I say that, is something that I look and am like, that is something that I would do. And I do all the time, actually. But yeah, and then it made me think of this video I made, which I kind of want to show and like react to, but I don't know if like, can you get copyrighted for using your own video from a different channel? I'll just edit it out if not. But I made this video when I actually think it's really interesting. 13 years ago, by the way, if you look at, it's so weird to see YouTube videos now. They say you can't really see it. How am I gonna do the zooming? This is the most amateur YouTube page ever. Other people are like, they've got 17 monitors behind them. Hi, welcome to the news where the what's what is getting ready to play. Today I'm gonna show you something. I'm Tosh.0. That's my... That's what it sounds like when I try to make a sentence sometimes. Please, someone, if you could transcript the words that I just said and try to make sense of them, I would be impressed, to say the least. Anyway, I made this video called Boy or Girl, because I remember when I was like, I must have been 12, and I was with my friends, and we were at Santa Cruz. If you live in Northern California, you get it. Literally, there is a famous boardwalk there. They have a famous TV theme song. It goes, at the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. If you're from Northern California, you're like, yes! If you're from anywhere else, you're like, can you move on? But anyway, I was at the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk or somewhere around there, and it was just something that was coming up so often for me that I thought, I'm gonna walk up to people with like the worst quality digital camera. Like, it depends on your age, but we, as in everyone on earth, used to make videos with just picture cameras. You know what I'm talking about. But anyway, I walked up to people and I was like, am I a boy or a girl? And I used my normal voice, and I was just wearing like jeans and a shirt. I remember I used to wear these jeans that were like borderline bell bottoms. They were like, the male and female section at PacSun for a few years there was a very thin line. And I used to get these silver, and I would go with my dad. I think I've told this story before. I would go with my dad early morning on Saturdays, because that was the day that he could drive me to the mall, and I would make him take me right when the mall opened because I was so ashamed. I had this crazy complex about people seeing me shop for clothes. I would get so scared of the people working there, the idea of seeing someone from school watching, and the idea that they would see me look at a shirt that like I wasn't cool enough for, like that I'd be at Zoomies or some too cool store and they'd be like, oh really, Drew, you want one with a pocket right there that has the name of a skateboard brand? As if, hun. That would be the coolest, most effeminate bullying I've ever experienced, and I would love it. But anyway, talking about my pants now. But I walked up to people at Santa Cruz and I was like, am I a boy or a girl? And it's really interesting because if I don't play it right now, you can see the people's reaction to me. And it's also an interesting thing. Look it up. Boy or girl. Maybe I'll just play it. Okay, I'm just gonna play it. Boy or girl. I literally have like a soundtrack of it.
Am I a boy or a girl?
I'd say you're a girl.
Okay. Why do you think that?
Why you think that? Like, it's cute. Like, I'm not even making fun of myself. Like, you can tell that I'm like a young, and I had very long hair, which, by the way, I think about this sometimes. The only reason I've ever been a guy with long hair is because I didn't like getting haircuts. The second my mom was like, I don't know why my mom made the decision, but she was always the one who was like, you're getting a haircut, like it's getting ratty. When she was like, okay, you're 11 now. I think I was like 11. She was like, you don't have to, you're kind of like a person now. You can say good morning to your neighbors even though it terrifies you. And I was like, then no. Like, I hated that feeling of like, cause the amount of haircuts that my family, or the amount of money my family specifically was willing to pay for a haircut was an amount of money that, I'll say it, and Mom, I'm sorry if this hurts your feelings, led me into some situations where my bangs didn't look great. I will say that much. That it was not the most, I had times where I remember even my friends, I'd get to school and they'd be like, Drew, like almost in a loving way, where they're like, oh God, okay, well, listen, it'll be different within a week. Let's, but anyway, the only reason I've ever had long hair is because I hate that moment. And it's weird, because like after you graduate from school, like you can just, unless you, I guess you go to like a normal job with a cubicle, but I'm just thinking now, like if I get a haircut, I don't have to see anybody. Or I can just why didn't I just put a beanie on? Did I not know what beanies were? I don't think I ever wore, I think you weren't allowed to wear hats in my school. Why did I go to school? You ever think about that? Like if you're out of high school now, like why did I go to school? I look back now, the kids who just didn't show up, I'm like, why didn't I do that? I know eventually you like get in trouble with the law, but there's like an amount that you can just not go to school, and what are they gonna do? Like they're really just gonna go, come on, come to school. Like there's like probably a month of school and they start going, okay, show's over, pal. I might be giving the worst advice, right? I hope no like 16-year-old is watching this like, what? Okay. Anyway, I just want to show like a little bit of the rest of it because I think it's interesting.
Mainly the features on your face.
Mainly the features on your face.
Thank you.
Yeah, and it sounds like I was going to cry there, but I think that my friends were just watching me, so I don't think that I was actually upset about it.
I would say that you're a boy. Okay, thank you. Now, why is that important? Because I want to know what people think of me.
Because I want to know what people think of me. Like, and it's like, now I would say that with almost like an ironic twist of like, because I care, but at that point I was like, no, because I want to know, but I guess it's true. Like, what's wrong? Of course an 11, 12-year-old wants to know what people think. I think it was kind of me testing, like, okay, everyone keeps getting it wrong. Like, what? Let me take a 50-person survey and turn it into content.
But you know what? Don't worry about what people think.
So sweet. Like, there was some really sweet people on this day.
You're like Mr. Rogers.
And I couldn't help but turn it into a joke. But really, I don't know what, I guess that's not a joke, it's just a compliment. I'm not gonna go, you know what, you can watch the whole thing. I'm sorry if that was so boring of me slightly reacting to a video, but go and watch that video because I think it's really interesting. Like, I will look back, by the way, at some of my, it's so weird to not have, like, I don't know how old you are, but what are your memories like of like middle school? Because for me, it's like 2 times I kissed somebody, 1 book that I read, and like that's it. Like, I don't really remember the names of my teachers, and I wasn't even like a bad kid. I wasn't like frying my brain, if you know what I mean. But it's so weird to have like, I mean, I guess anyone watching this probably has like some, unless you're like a lot older, like some kind of record of like who you were. It's weird that it's getting to the point with the internet and like chronicling our own lives that so much of it I don't remember, and I'm able to like look at my memories. I don't know, it's like you're able to access a part of your brain that isn't actually naturally there anymore. Like, and I'll just watch some of my videos even from like 8 years ago, and I'm like, I'm watching it as though I'm someone else watching it. I'm like, oh wow, oh that's funny, oh why did he do that? Like, it doesn't really feel like me, and not in like it used to be in like a dissociative way where I was like feeling like I was in a nightmare. Like 2 years ago during COVID, I was like, who is that? And I'd look in the mirror and I'd be like, it kind of looks like him, but not really. Now it's just kind of like, oh, that is me, but not really, and Yeah, anyway, I was just thinking about the idea of these core beliefs, and I think that through that experience of always being called a girl, always being called gay, constantly being told that I'm gay and I don't even know it yet, I look like a girl, but I am a guy, but because I like, the famous story, by the way, famous like in my family, that my mom would always tell, is that when my sister and I, when we were like, 3 and 5 years old, we went to some like little shop by our house, and the lady there said, "Oh kids, here's some stickers. You can both have a free sticker." When you're a kid, people give you free things for no reason. I remember my sister and I used to always get free cookies at the grocery store. Why? It was a bakery. They were selling cookies. They gave us cookies. You know why? We were small and we were sweet. So it was like a basket of stickers, and I think, I can't remember if it's one of those memories where I just remember because I've been told it by someone else, or if I really do, but I think I do. And there was, all these things, all the typical kids stuff, objects that kids might like, and my sister grabs the princess sticker, and I, loving my sister and loving different colors and whatever, I grabbed the princess, I grabbed my own princess sticker, and the lady there, my mom was so mad, goes, "Oh, no, no, no." She goes, "Why don't you get a truck?" And it's just like, so, and my mom always laughs about that's what got, like, a truck, like a type of transportation. That's what little boys are allowed. What a boring thing. Like, you might as well like the bus, and the bus is the most boring thing on earth. My sister's first word, by the way. Okay, obsessed with your sister much? Knowing your sister's first word? What was your sister's? Question of the day. What was your sister's first word? And if you don't have a sister, make up a sister. Does my neck look strange right now while I talk about your imaginary sister? Anyway, that story always makes me laugh. How about a truck? Like, literally, think of what's nicer looking to a child or any human. A truck or a princess? I guess they made a movie about both. There is a movie called Monster Trucks, but was it as big of a hit as Frozen or Frozen 2? No, honey. No, honey. They don't have a movie called Frozen Truck. Instead of Olaf, they've got GMC. Is that a truck brand? See, I don't even know. I think that might be a vitamin store. Anyway, no, that's GNC. General Nutrition Factory? Okay. I wrote down a few other things to talk about. I think I've gotten out of the way. The point is, I think that being called what I wasn't and being confused, it was like there was something different about me or it made people react enough, other kids or even adults sometimes, that I was constantly told who I was, and it was questioned who I was and laughed at for who I was. And I did not have as bad of an experience with bullying as a lot of people, and it really wasn't that intense for me, but being laughed at instead of with so often as a kid, it's a little bit scarring, and I constantly feel myself thinking that someone is laughing for me. And to this day, one of my biggest fears is like, do you see me as a joke? Like, even when it kind of seems like someone might want to date me, I'm like, is this a big joke? Like, is this literally like a Disney Channel original movie where someone like dared you to do, like, are your friends about to pop out from behind a tree giggling and going, "Fat chance, bozo"? Like, I'm always waiting for that. Okay, I wrote some stuff down. Oh, I went to the chiropractor the other day. And whenever I talk about the chiropractor, I get comments of people being like, "They're fake." And it's like, those pops and cracks aren't fake, sweetie. That's a whole cereal over there. Pop and Snapple? What? Okay. Literally, but sometimes it does seem fake because and by the way, I get free, the reason I go to a chiropractor, I get it free from my insurance. For some reason, the doctor's office I go to has the chiropractor, and like, it's not, I think the copay is very, very low. So like, why wouldn't I? He doesn't, but sometimes if you've gone to a chiropractor, it's like a very strange experience. Cause he always goes, "Okay, and now turn right here." And I'm like, why don't I just do nothing? Cause and eventually he's just gonna manhandle me, and it always happens so quickly, and I'm always like, wait, I'm not doing the right thing. And then he just eventually does something. The neck stuff, I swear to God, the things he does with my neck, it just seems like he's messing around. Like, it seems like he's testing me to see if I'll go, "Hey!" Like, sometimes it feels like a joke. Wait, my core belief is coming back. But literally, I've thought about it. The other day I go, is there anything you could do for my legs? Which then all of a sudden I feel like I'm treating him like, I don't know, a masseuse or something. Sir, a little bit lower. But literally, I swear he just made something up. I swear I go, my legs hurt. I swear to you, he slapped them. I swear he just like pulled it out a little bit and went, I'm like, no way. There's no way you took a class and they told you to go, and that would ever do anything. Like, that's almost just Reiki healing. Like, what are you talking about? What is Reiki healing? Are you guys into that? I wrote something else. Oh, I went to Cold Stone the other day. I haven't been eating ice cream for like a year or something because I don't want to have dairy. And then because of my like stomach. And when you get older, let me tell you, sweet hun, sweet butter. Ew. What if there was a YouTuber who called their fans sweet butter? I'd report their channel. Anyway, and I also think that I just did it. I went to Cold Stone because they had like a dairy-free flavor. I saw it like in the, the advertising works on me. God, do you ever have a moment where advertising works on you? Like, literally feel like such a dummy. Literally, it's like outside of Taco Bell. The fries are back and you're like, I don't drive. Anyway, I walked into Cold Stone and they had the big poster for the new dairy-free, some kind of chocolatey thing. And I walk in and I go, oh, can I have like the dairy-free, that one? And she goes, it's not my specialty. And I go, oh, okay. She goes, what's in it? It made me laugh so, like, and immediately, it was one of those moments where I was like, I want to talk about this in a video, because it's like the smallest little human interaction that is just a tiny moment in life, but something about the idea that she wanted me, and I get it, because eventually she was like, it's my second day here, and I was like, okay, but all of a sudden I was like, wait a second, I don't work at Cold Stone, you work at Cold Stone. But it did say, I was like, what do you mean? And on the thing that I had pointed to, it said the ingredients, and I was like, okay, well, it says almond. She's like, okay, almond. And then I'm like, I have never been such a big part of, but I guess that is the Cold Stone experience. I remember when Cold Stone first came out, my dad was so mad at it for some reason. He thought it was so stupid, the idea. Because it was like, I don't know if, maybe you don't even have a Cold Stone where you live, but it's like, it was, especially when it first came out, it was like branded as this performance where people were like, have you heard of Cold Stone? They show you that they make it. They like put it on a slab. I remember people using the word slab, and they like, and it's, to me, it's always kind of nasty. Like you can hear the, like, I put on noise canceling headphones. I'm like, you do that. You have fun with my chocolate butter almond surprise or whatever. They always have some silly word at the end of it. It's like the Cocoa Muffin Thunder Mountain. What a horrible example. Cocoa Muffin. Someone should walk into Cold Stone and say, can I have a Cocoa Muffin Thunder Mountain? And they'll go, this is my 100th day here, but I have no idea what you're talking about. What else did I write down? A few, oh, my friend texted me, let's see. Oh, wait, okay, wait 1 second. I'm making a video. Sorry, hi. The other thing I wanted to say, if people commented on my video, my last video, and it made me think about something. So I made some comment in my video where I went, I'm not gonna wear makeup, okay? I'm a guy, I'm a man. Harry Styles is quaking or something like that. And I got comment. I always think when I make an eye, because spoiler alert, I'm joking. And I don't know if it's like the strongest, most powerful form of satire, but sometimes I do like the internet irony thing where you just say the exact opposite of what you mean, and I'll go, oh yeah, I'm not gonna wear makeup, I'm a guy. And there's an argument to be made that that's not really that's not powerful satire, or it's just, it doesn't mean anything, it's really just kind of reinforcing, I don't know, there's some meme about satire and how if you don't do it right, you're really just like reinforcing the thing that you're trying to work against or whatever. Like if I'm just to say, women should be in the kitchen, ha ha, I'm making fun of guys who would say that, but then a woman might just be like, yeah, but you are a guy who just said that. The wink doesn't mean that much to me, whatever. But I wanted to say that I was just kidding when I said, you can literally go on my Instagram and there's at least 15 pictures of me with makeup on. I do not mind wearing makeup. I actually, the times that I've like shot on a set, like for web series or a couple little movies or whatever, I have loved it, and I keep my makeup on when I go home. The like kind of slight makeup, screen makeup I think they call it, that they put on you that basically just is what you look like, just looks better on a camera. I made sure every time I've had that put on me to like go to a Target, because I always feel so good. I guess that's what just regular makeup is, unless you're like putting crazy glitter on yourself. I should start wearing normal makeup. But like getting good enough to, because is the goal, here's my question if you're into makeup. Is the goal to make it look like you're not wearing makeup? Or is it just to make it look like you look different, but have people notice it? You know what I mean? I don't really get makeup. But anyway, I'm sorry. I'm not really sorry, but I just want to, if you are watching my videos, keep in mind that I'm always a little bit surprised, but then I remember, you don't know everything about me. You don't know when everyone is joking. I feel like I see that online sometimes where somebody says something like what I said, where I went, I'm not gonna wear makeup, I'm a guy, and then someone will reply on Twitter like, sweetie, and then they're like, you're stupid, I was joking, look at this idiot. And it's like, we don't all have the context of where everyone's coming from at all times. Like, you can't really get mad at a stranger for looking at your, by the way, only text post on Twitter that they tried to like glean some type of tone from, for not knowing, for not reading your mind. Like, it doesn't really make sense. So I want to just be clear that a lot of the things I'm saying are me joking about what if somebody said this. Oh, I've been having a pain. This is just turning into the list I come into a doctor's office with. I literally wrote down things to talk about in video. Pain in rib. And then I put, if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. Well, that was the thing. I was thinking about it because I'm like, I've been having a pain right here. Can you see it? God, I just realized you don't get to see my belly for these videos. That's what I should do on my Patreon. By the way, subscribe. Maybe I'll set up a belly camera where for the whole video you can just see my belly and my pants, and you can just watch the, not even an extended cut, just a different angle. Has a YouTuber ever done that? What if I did like a foot cam? There's like a, I make my, what if I did like, I sit on a chair that's transparent? So not that I would be nude or anything, but you can just kind of see my sweatpants moving around while I talk. This is turning into something different than Patreon. Okay, anyway, I've been getting a pain here, and I used to be so at the mercy of any kind of pain or weird sensation, and I still kind of am, but I've had to work really hard at a type of like mindfulness about freaking out, because when I say I was at the mercy, I mean that I would get like the slightest little anxiety chill, or a little like, you know, things should, when you have a body, things pop up that don't make any sense, and you don't know if it's, you know, psychologically related or all these, I've been reading about it too. Like, you can concentrate on a small symptom so much that your brain starts to perceive it as bigger, and then you're in this loop of like going to the doctor and they're like, nothing's wrong with you, and you're kind of upset. But if I Google a lot of the things happening to my body on a day-to-day basis, it's just gonna tell me I have kidney disease. It's just gonna tell me I have every type of autoimmune disorder. And that's what I wrote down. If I die, I die. I have come to the point where I'm like, I had this pain right here, and I started Googling pain on right side, and I just went, you know what? I'm done. I'm so done. If this is gonna be the thing that kills me, then I would rather, here's what I decided, I'd rather live my last whatever amount of time not Googling about it. You know what I mean? I mean, I say that I'm done, and I still kind of do it a little bit, but I'm so sick of like looking through the internet and them telling me the scariest version of what I have, and then you go to the doctor and they're like, no, it's not that. What are you talking about? Literally, it wouldn't be that, because your face would be blue. Like, the amount of times the internet has been like, the only way you would ever have this symptom is if you have this. I go to the doctor and they're literally like, no, you'd be yellow. They're like, no, literally that's jaundice. Like, what are you talking about? I'm also realizing that I am sort of a hypochondriac, and that it is not invalidating my perception of the world to say I'm a hypochondriac. I do get sick, and a lot of that sickness is also based on the fact that I concentrate on the symptoms and the fact that I feel like my face is warm sometimes and I get upset when the thermometer says that I'm only 97.5 and I feel like I'm going crazy. Yeah, well, my brain just kind of picks up a little bit more warmth than might really be there because I'm thinking about it a lot. Am I making sense today? I don't know. I feel like this might be very meaningful to you, or much like the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk theme song, you're like, okay, what? One more thing. Oh, okay, this was something that tell me if this is like a funny like stand-up joke that I could do. I don't ever want to do stand-up again. I did it when I was a teenager and it was my worst experiences in my life so far. Hope I never get anything as bad as that. You know how people say, that person's so nice they would give you the shirt off their back. And I was thinking, I want to be that guy really bad, and I think I could, but it's just a matter of the distance between where the next shirt is available. I would give you the shirt off my back if we were around the corner from no problem. If we were at the beach, you know, something where, but if I'm a mile away in the woods, in like a very popular woods, I don't know what that would be, but I think whenever I hear a saying like that, or sometimes I'll feel kind of threatened when someone's like, oh, this person was so nice, they did, and I'm like, wait a second, I wouldn't do that, you're saying I'm mean? So yeah, with I would give you the shirt off my back. Maybe you've never heard that phrase before. If not that many people were around to see my body, because I'm a little bit scared of the way that my belly and or chest looks like, as long as there was like a liquor store that, you know, like those liquor stores that's like a gas station that sells t-shirts, and you're just like, wow, you really are doing it all. I'm so proud of people when like someone has a gas station and they're like, you know what, I'm gonna sell hats. There's a liquor store near me that has like Bluetooth speakers and fake AirPods, and I'm like, I love it. Like there's something about that just makes me feel like I'm home. I don't know if that's a feeling that you relate to at all, but I love stores that shouldn't have a type of product by their definition, but they're just like, you know what? We're Office Depot, but we're gonna sell a keyboard. We're gonna give you a piano. How about a piano? That would never happen. I think that might be it. Thanks for watching my video. I'm gonna keep talking on Patreon if you want to keep the conversation going. Sorry I haven't talked too much. I've been nervous. What do you want to say? Sorry, this is I guess I already explained it. Do you have anything? Yeah, so I watched Euphoria last. No, sir. Literally trigger. Sorry. No, it was actually I was going to tell you about someone shot somebody else's didn't. Okay. How long is this? Is this my longest video or my shortest video? I can never tell, but I am starting to produce a lot of excess spit, and that seems like my cue to go. I don't know, should I? Oh, I'm supposed to sing. Oh, I forgot. Okay, I'm gonna sing the names of the people who paid me $30 a month on Patreon. I hope you liked this video. I hope that you, I don't know, no pressure to keep talking to me on Patreon. I'm gonna stop talking about that soon. I feel like we got into a lot of things today. I always have this feeling when I decide that it's time to go that I didn't do enough. And people are gonna be like, this was lacking something. And I'm gonna be like, I'm so sorry. Okay. I think these are the chords for My Sweet Lord by George Harrison, and I'm not trying to rip off a Beatle. Unless you hate the Beatles, then I am trying to literally ruin their lives. If I'm ever doing something that you don't like, just imagine I'm doing the opposite, and then we're all good, right? Then I'm a good tuber. Then I'm the best content creator. Why can't I improvise music? Wait, I can. Gretchen A. Sophie, Grace, Ariella, May, Christina, Bay. I meant B, but I said it to make it rhyme. Niall, Kristen, T. Fern, Lindsay, Stickney, Dump Truck, Jones, Danielle, Consolvo, Bianca, Louise, Stacy, say Jasenia O. Sorry, I think I said it wrong last time too. Jasenia O, Angel, Elise, Liz G, Becca, Mixtix, Meg, Psychedelia, Psychedelia, I'm not sure, Scooter, Claire, Sarah Jane, Piers, Riley Radford, and Kavodo, Shay M, Lucy E, E.T., Kenya, and Riley, Pixie Locks, Haley, Curie Lux, Kathy Gans. Why was Kathy Gans so loud? Everyone's jealous of Kathy Gans because he screamed it. Now we gotta start from the top and scream them all. Just kidding. No one's mad. Winona, Erica, Strada. Wow, the end of the song. It felt like it was a new verse and nothing happened. Okay, gonna keep talking on Patreon. See you soon if you're there. Bye, bye, bye. The Beach Boys, the Backstreet Boys. What's the difference these days? Boys are boys. Okay, I literally think I forgot to finish my story about the urgent care. I feel like maybe people are commenting like, wait, what happened at the urgent care? If anyone says that and you're watching this part, point them in this direction. I don't think I finished the story. Okay, so literally I cut myself on accident with this, like getting food or whatever. I was like trying to get like the most of this special canned food that I'm not gonna tell you about. I'm gonna tell you about on Patreon, and that will get me money because people want to know what he's eating. But anyway, I go in and I just get scared, like especially with like getting like a little bit of an open wound and it was still hurting after a couple days. I'm just like, listen, my insurance is pretty good with this urgent care. There's not that many people here today. Why not? I need something to do. There wasn't a lot of people. Like, I just, for my peace of mind, which is very valuable to me these days with so much extra stress going on. And she comes in, and I think that I kind of do have that hypochondriac thing where I kind of just like somebody looking at me and making me feel important because I'm not able to get it with people in my life or myself sometimes. So she goes, what did you cut it on? And I said, oh, like a can of something. And she goes, okay, do you have your tetanus shot? And all of a sudden I'm like, oh my, like it felt so serious. It felt like that moment where they're like, wait a second. But she just was like, if you cut yourself on metal, like you should have your tetanus because it can happen and it's rare or whatever, but, and I said, I don't know, like, I don't know. You ever like, now that I'm an adult, the people are asking me sometimes, do you have this or that shot? And I'm like, mommy, like I literally, hoping that my mom wrote these things down. I have no idea. I don't remember. But then I'm doing that thing that I do with doctors where I'm like, okay, but what if I don't think I did, but like what if I did when I, like 3 years ago and I forgot, like now am I gonna get too many of them and I'll die? Like I'm always asking them like, the thing that you're about to do, that's not gonna kill me, right? As if she'd be like, no, it is. I thought you're not here for the death? Okay, sorry, I mixed you up. Like, I don't know. So all of a sudden they're bringing, and I do not like spontaneous. I can't tell what I dislike most. Spontaneous needles or planned needles, because I have very vivid memories as a child of my mom being like, okay, Drew, you're getting a checkup in 2 weeks, you're gonna have to get the needle, like the blood or the shot, and for the next 2 weeks, I remember being at school so vividly and going, 10 more days until the needle. Like it's really, I think, where a lot of my anxiety has come from, these dang needs. I'm not gonna get too into it because I can barely hear about it without getting dizzy sometimes, so I will just say that I think I make it worse for myself because when the nurse comes in, and it's always that interesting thing where it's like a recurring character. You meet the nurse, then the doctor comes in and is like, you need this, and then the nurse comes back and is like, remember me? Now I'm gonna do the hard thing. Why do they make God, nurses have a hard job. They gotta do all the messy stuff. It's like, hi, I'm a doctor. I'm just gonna talk to you. Now the nurse is gonna come in and get down and dirty. You know what I'm talking about? If you're a nurse, don't you feel so respected by me right now? manipulating you into loving me. Anyway, they came in, they gave, so I just want to say I am tetanused up. And of course, the time in between the doctor saying, you know how they just try to get out of there. They're just like, they're gonna do something, I'm leaving. Like, as if they're always about to go on vacation. Like, jeez. How rich do I have to be where a doctor will spend over 5 minutes with me? Will just look me in the eyes for, I just need 90 seconds of you making me feel like a human. No, that's the oversensitive. I know, I can feel the comments of people saying how, I know it's hard to be a doctor, especially right now. And she was actually very sweet. I just need more than most people can give. Anyway. They did that, but I think I make it worse for myself sometimes because the second that it's about to happen, I think that it's gonna help make me feel more comfortable to go, I'm scared, I just want you to know that like I might faint and throw up. And she's like, okay, do you want a bag? I'm like, no, actually, I literally went, I don't know why I said that because I don't throw up, I just faint. And she's like, okay. Like, and then I'm more like, I don't know why that is the moment where I should do a fake it till you make it type thing. Like, why? Why do I think it's going to be helpful to me to walk like on a date or meetings? Hi, I just want to let you know that I'm very scared and I tend to act strange when I'm scared. So in the next 15, and of course then I'm gonna act strange. Like, it doesn't help to constantly be apologizing for something that hasn't happened yet and then, what do you call it, something it into manifesting my anxiety at the doctor's office. Please, I want a PS4 and I want to faint. Anyway, it was fine. I literally, the time when the doctor leaves, I'm Googling tetanus, tetanus shot side effects. And of course, literally one of the first results is tetanuslawyer.com, because some rich lawyer paid some tech bro or ma'am or whatever, or some tech non-binary person to, when some guy like me Googles nervously at the doctor's office, tetanus shot side effects, vaccine tetanuslawyer.com, it can lead to seizures. Did you have a seizure? And then I'm like, oh my god, so many people have had seizures that there's a lawyer specifically dedicated, when probably not. God, so much of Google is just based around trying to scare you into clicking. It's just such a scary website. I feel like, I think I get nervous anytime I'm on Google. Google Images, that's out of my life. I swear if you search like picture of dog, it's like, oh, you want to see a dead one? You want to see one that fell off a horse? What? Kind of. I mean, if it's okay, I'd like to see any creature that's been through something tough. I can relate. Okay. I feel like this was a good segment. Where was that energy 20 minutes ago? Once again, I'll probably leave a pinned comment on this video telling you to watch to the end because I get so nervous that YouTube tells me how long most people watch my videos. And let me tell you, it is not till the end. And I can never have enough love. I don't remember the last time I watched a YouTube video to the end. Because then they start playing another video. You watch a video, they're like, here's a different one afterwards. How dare you? I picked one video. Don't show me Joe Rogan now. God, you ever see all you watch one Joe Rogan for 25 years. I'm probably gonna be in my 80s like, I watched one Joe Rogan video, please. Stop. Okay, I'm fine. I got a tetanus shot. Might have a seizure tonight. Check out me having a seizure on Patreon. That's not funny at all. And if you want to write me a long email saying that I suck, go ahead. I'll say I'm sorry. Seriously, thanks for watching this. I had a good time. That felt like the end of a date, and I'm sorry. Or you're welcome. Stop. Hi. Sir. Sorry.